to the Milwaukee Show, and today we're, of course, talking about the Carolina Hurricanes and their season preview. Now, this is a team last season that I thought the entire year going into the regular season, into the postseason, I thought that this was the team to win the Stanley Cup. I was hands down all in them because I realize certain things about some teams that it takes to win the cup. And the Hurricanes have got it all, except one major thing. They've got the defense, they've got the depth, they've got the goaltending tandem, they've got everything. They got great top end, great bottom end talent, defense, amazing. Except they don't have a hero on this team. And it showed in the Eastern Conference Finals after their second in the NHL season, finishing only behind the record-setting Bruins, finishing second in the NHL with 113 points. They finish getting swept by the Florida Panthers and Matthew Tkachuk especially. This team only got wiped out by that Florida Panthers squad in a sweep. And the reason why is that they just couldn't score. They just couldn't put the puck in the back of the net just a couple more times, or they would have found themselves in the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Panthers, who do they have? Matthew Tkachuk, a hero to go out there and lead this team. And that is where I look at the Hurricanes and go, this is a team needing a guy. They're missing that guy, that Patrick Kane, that Matthew Tkachuk, the Sidney Crosbys of the world. And they really need one to sprout this season, and I think this is the year to do it. So during this offseason, they bring in Michael Bunting and Dmitry Orlov, and bring back Tony DeAngelo. Just putting more pieces to, for Michael Bunting, it's kind of a guy that they need, a kind of a scrappy gamer type guy that's going to go in there, he's going to dig into the goaltender's pads, make those guys angry, but he also can make some nice plays by drawing the attention to himself, causing people to go we're not letting this guy get past him, go in for the attack. He gets the pass out to a guy like Sebastian Aho, who then puts in the back of the net. Great move, and I think he does fit well on that top line with Sebastian Aho, a guy that I see this being the year that he breaks out and shows that he is one of the better guys in the NHL, which we all know that already, but we all know that he also just isn't really that true, superstar of a team, right? He's not ever been the hero for this team. Last season, he got 82 points. This year, he gets 36 goals and 67 points. And to me, this is the perfect year for that breakout season to really grab that brass ring. I'm not saying he gets 120 points, but I definitely could see him going from 36 goals, 67 points to getting up to I would say he gets in 40-goal territory and could get up to the 80s of points, especially with the guy that I think pairs up with him as well in Seth Jarvis, a guy that, once again, another perfect candidate for his own breakout season. 14 goals, 39 points last season. He's a guy that I could definitely see finally breaking into his NHL mold and going from 14 goals, 39 points to 27 goals and 55 points or something. And Jarvis with Aho feeding him the puck, Michael Bunting getting those rebounds, getting some passes across to those kind of guys. I see this being a line that isn't going to be a contender for best line in the NHL, but I think it has all the pieces of the puzzle. Bunting being the scrappy guy, feeding in those rebounds, drawing the attention, getting those passes. Aho just kind of being that all-around guy, and Seth Jarvis feeding the puck into the net. And I think it's going to be a great season for that line there. And Aho, I see him finally grabbing that ring and being I am the hero this team needs. But last year, that was Martin Necas, a guy that I've been saying for the longest time is a guy to look out for. Martin Necas, a Czech Republic guy, 28 goals, 71 points last year, led this team in points. And my biggest question is, can he do that again? Is 71 points where he's at? I think that is where he's at. I think 71 points is a perfect tier of player where it's I feel like in our heads it's 80 to 100 points is really good, and then anything above 100 type guy is a superstar. To me, Necas is that kind of guy right below really good. He is tremendous as a player, but 70 points is like, you're up there, and you're a guy that every team needs to be a champion, but you're not the guy. So I think it is Nature's 71 points is where he's at, but I think it depends on his line mates if they can help him out there. Because guys like Kotkaniemi, 18 goals, 43 points last season. He's kind of always been a guy that we've all questioned, right? Is he capable? Now, I think on this Hurricane squad, he does fit well. But is he a guy that goes higher, or is he where he's at and below? And to me, I think this is where he's at. 43 points. He's never really shown to me or to any of us that he is the guy, the guy that they offer sheeted for, right? But 43 points, I think, is fine for what this team needs. And he can also, I think he's a solid, I think he fits this team. If he was on any other team, I think we'd be like, whatever. But I think on this Hurricane squad, he fits in his spot well. And then Andrei Svechnikov, 23 goals, 55 points last season, played only 64 games. I think if he played the full season, probably be up there in maybe high 60s, maybe low 70s, kind of like Martin Necas. Same thing for him. He is solid, right? And he's another guy that I could see being a candidate to be that breakout season to really, we know he's already amazing with it, what he can do with the hands. He's the one that brought back the lacrosse goal. But can he build upon that, right? And I think all the ingredients the Carolina Hurricanes have this year is for these guys to have that full season. This is their year. And then after the second line, you get kind of why this team is so good. Martinook, Stahl, and Foss. Sure, their numbers are incredible or anything. I mean, 34, 24, 24, 29 points, sorry. Nothing stellar, right? But this is a team that is very good. This line is very good two ways, right? They're playing solid hockey. You put them on the ice, you're not going to get any of them making this crazy move. You're not going to get any of them making that crazy snipe of a shot, right? But what you are going to get is these are the type of guys that are grinding away and playing smart, steady hockey, right? They're not going to do any pass across over there in the net, right? But these are the guys that are going to be reliable. You know what you're getting. You roll this line out there. They're playing good defense. And these are the type of players that get those goals in the playoffs and overtime and late in a game as well. And Foss, what do you have? 2 overtime goals against the New York Islanders? This is the line that you put out there, like the Belmar, Corey Perry, Maroon line, right? Or whatever combination of players they had last year on the Lightning. This is that line where they throw out these 3 guys and they're gonna play hard, they're gonna play strong, and they're not going to get you all the goals, but they might get you that one goal that you need, but not all the time. But this is one of those lines that every championship team needs, is this solid line. And then Nason, Jury, and Teravainen. And if your fourth line can have Teravainen on it, that is incredible to me. Nason, solid guy, 36 points last season. He's a solid fourth line. If he's on your fourth line, once again, you're doing something pretty good. And Jack Drury, 8 points in 38 games. This is another guy that could break into that NHL mold. Not obviously in the 50s of points, but from 8 points this year, I could definitely see him breaking into more of a 30-point season. And he's only 23 years old, so he's a rookie still. Put him out there on the ice. I think he definitely showed in the playoffs that I think he looks very reliable. So for him and just this entire offensive line is that they're like the Seattle Kraken, where they're just so deep. That is just the definition of what this team is. They're so dense as a team. 60 minutes on the ice the entire game, or if in the playoffs if they go 5 periods, they have 4 lines that are going out there that can be threats. The issue is that they just don't have that nuclear warhead, right? They don't have that smoking gun in the lineup. And I think this is the year where all the pieces are put together for Aho, where he had that big year. He kind of regressed a little bit this season to go back out there and have another, go from 82 points as his career best to 90. Jarvis go from 39 points to get up to 55 and score a couple more goals. Bunting to show why he's worth that money and that he's a scrappy gamer that's going to go in there and score Matthew Tkachuk kind of goals. And guys like Svechnikov, if he makes it into the playoffs, he was injured last season. He could have been that guy, but unfortunately, we will never know. So for them, the offense is amazing. But the best thing about this team is on the back end. Dmitry Orlov brought onto a team that is already so good at defense. And not only him, they bring back the guy that was just a star, just a absolute shooting star for them when they played in the playoffs 2 years ago, and Tony DeAngelo. Orlov and D'Angelo back on D'Angelo back on this team. Huge. Brent Burns already last year stealing the show, absolute star. I said it once again that I was like, this guy got 50 points on the Sharks last season. What is he going to do with the Hurricanes? He did 61 points and 18 goals. Huge. Another guy that under the radar guy, Brady Shea. I know people know him because of his crazy name, but this guy, he puts in goals as well. 18 goals last season, 38 points. This guy is another solid defenseman that doesn't get enough credit. Pesce, amazing shutdown defenseman. Is he on the team come the season? I don't know. Maybe he's not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Brett Pesce, great defenseman. Slavin and D'Angelo. I mean, it is just so crazy how good this team's defense is. And these are not, don't think of this as being like first, second, third. These are just the three pairings that I think they could have. Because to me, I can read this as like Orlov and Burns are the line you put out there when you need to get a goal, you need some energy on your team, get things going, right? Slavin, D'Angelo, Slavin and Pesce, just those are your shutdown guys, right? You put them on the ice when you need them to shut down the other team, stop them from scoring goals, get those huge defensive plays in. D'Angelo and Shea, just once again, it kind of reminds me of Colorado with Cale Makar, Girard, and Byram, where you've got Burns as the Cale Makar, the guy that's going out there just shoving the puck down the other team's throat. Burns 6'5", 200 and who knows how many pounds. Huge guy, no one's stopping him. Brady Shea's got the speed on him, can score some goals, and Tony DeAngelo back on this Hurricane squad with a passion. Just unreal what their defense is, and it is the most expensive defense in the NHL, so it should be the best one. And to me, I think going into this season may be the best defense in the NHL. I really like it regardless of anything. You can't debate if it is a good defense. It absolutely is. And then in the net, Anderson and Raanta running it back again. These two, great tandem for the Hurricanes. Anderson, I feel like is an underrated goaltender. He's been in like top 10 of save percentage and goals against average like the last 3 seasons with the Hurricanes. Anderson, underrated goaltender. Raanta, once again, another underrated goaltender. Being a Coyotes fan, not the biggest fan of them, but watching them, that Raanta would steal games sometimes, and he just has never really been given a chance to prove himself and go out there and show that he is the best, one of the best in the world, and he can steal some shows. He was 19-3 last season. In the playoffs, he was very good for the Carolina Hurricanes, and Anderson, once again, just solid. So looking at this team, do they make the playoffs? 100%. Do they win the President's Trophy? I mean, I feel like it always depends, the President's Trophy usually goes to a team that, is very good at scoring a lot of goals, usually. So I could see that, going to a team like the Devils or maybe the Hurricanes. So, they were second in the running for the President's Trophy. So maybe, do they go far in the playoffs? I think first round, I think they get a win. Second round, I think they get a win. Eastern Conference Finals, I think that is their ticket. Do they get past the Eastern Conference Finals? That is the question to me when it comes to the Canes. Do they win the Stanley Cup? I think they absolutely can. And I think just the biggest question for this team is that they need a guy to be the hero. When they need a guy like Nathan MacKinnon against the St. Louis Blues, where the Blues just tie up the game, and they have a guy that goes down the ice and scores that big goal, or end-to-end goal, right? They need that guy, and it's that's a lot to ask for a player. No, it's not. That is what the NHL is made out of. Take a look at the Panthers. I know they didn't win the Stanley Cup, but Matthew Tkachuk, there's a reason they made it to that finals. And to me, the great thing about the Hurricanes is that they have a lot of potential candidates to do that in different series. If it's Sebastian Aho, if it's Natchez, if it's Burns, if it's a Svechnikov, right? they have options. A guy like Orlov, maybe. He got 17 points in 23 games with the Bruins. Imagine now him on this Hurricane squad. A motivated Orlov is apparently one of the best defensemen in the NHL. So to me, they are once again, right now, my at least top 3, maybe my number 1 candidate to win the Stanley Cup. I love this team. I think they've got a great chance, and it's just up to a player to be that guy. And that's all I gotta say. So thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet. I know this isn't the best video still. I'm still getting things set up, but still a work in progress. But anyways, thank you for watching this. Too sweet. Have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.